They are not just going to let Florida go underwater, right? My city in FL floods every time there is a storm. After every flood, everyone asks why this happens. The answer is because the storm drainage is 100 years old and totally inadequate now. Fixing it would require a small extra tax. The tax is voted down every year. Rinse and repeat. That the next hurricane that hits the bay will annihilate this city is well known and widely accepted. Nobody is willing to pay one additional tax to fix that. They will, 100, let this state end up underwater. I don't think the ocean is going to ask for permission. Not much can be done to stop it. The coastline is huge, no way to shore up the entire thing. Florida has limestone bedrock. There is no letting it. There is nothing that can be done. If you build a seawall, the salt water just dissolves the limestone under it, and it is porous, so the water just comes through. Also, the state is so flat that pretty soon, sea level rise will create a situation where the fresh water that rains in the middle of the state won't be able to drain down to the sea. The interior will flood. Here is a map where you can see Florida's elevations. Areas in red are less than 2 feet above sea level, and could be badly affected by the 10 inches rise predicted over 30 years. Also, the map shows much of Florida sits above 60 feet. Our best defense against sea level rise is to curb global warming. https://climatecenter.fsu.edu topic sea level rise /climatecenter.fsu.edu topic sea level rise. Mother Nature is undefeated at ending civilizations. No matter what anyone says about our technology, we're still largely at the whims of what the Earth provides or takes away. It's pretty much the official position of the far right that climate change is not real, and they are working full-time to stymie any attempts to ameliorate its causes. And in addition to being firmly in control of Florida, we just put them in charge of the entire federal government. But don't worry, your state government is working hard to make sure the gays are kept completely away from decent folks, that all Mexicans are rounded up and locked in cages, and that their anti-abortion laws are tough enough that they also kill off a percentage of women who suffer miscarriages. And oh yeah, by the way, the legal machinery to nuke the separation of church and state is already in motion. And dear leader has promised to send the military after people who disagree with him. There's no way they are just going to let an entire state go underwater, right? Oh my no, not the whole state. But if you ever wanted to live on a remote tropical island, Miami might be a good investment right now. https://underthecblog.org content uploads 201,503 flslr.jpg. How will they stop it? A wall? The entire state won't? There's some high ground in the north. I would expect a few cities to look a lot like Venice though. You know how the politicians and oil people and such always thought global warming would be a problem several generations down the line, once they were gone. Well, they not only kept putting CO2 in, they increased the amount each year by leaps and bounds. So, we're seeing climate change effects pretty strongly already. Their retirement homes are gonna end up as little concrete islands. What do you expect people to do about it? It won't go underwater, but much of it will be so battered by storms as to be unlivable. People will still live there, though, and the rest of us will have a lot of tax money going to help people rebuild houses that will be swept away. Parts of Miami flood during high tides, not from the ocean water, but from the freshwater table being pushed up. The streets flood with fresh water, and soon, the salt water will invade into the freshwater aquifer, and then there will be no fresh water at all. The residents have voted to continue with the climate change as a hoax line. So, when the state starts going under, we should ban those people from immigrating to our state. Basically, you fucked your state over, you will not do your stupid shit here. Yeah, that's what climate change is, Florida. Sorry about it. Do your own research. Oops, never mind. How are they going to stop it? It's not about letting it happen when nature simply takes over based on environmental conditions. Nature beats government in this case. I have always felt like there are some places humans shouldn't live even if we can with engineering. This is coming from a civil engineer. Don't plan your life around assuming someone else or everyone else will fix a major problem so it doesn't ruin your life. Everywhere will be impacted by climate change, but some far more significantly than others. If you live in an area, Florida is definitely one that is heavily impacted, or relies on other areas for critical needs. Water. Looking at you, Arizona. Leave now while property values are still high enough for it to be practical. I'm shocked whenever someone I know says they are moving to Flaz. They just blindly assume that they will fix it, whatever the major flaw in long-term human occupation is for that area. And eventually they will bitch and expect FEMA to bail them out of their stupid real estate decisions. These are not poor or dumb people. It's already becoming extremely difficult to get property insurance in FL. If the companies who have probability of property damage as their area of expertise are bailing out already, time to go. How would you hold back the ocean? The NC coast will disappear too. Move your life now while you can. With Florida gone, America would elect better human beings worth it. Who's in a position to stop the ocean? Yes. Because in order to prevent it, it would require massive infrastructure management and spending, much like the Dutch do. If there's one thing the modern American political system is incapable of doing, is making long-term investments in infrastructure and the future. When one group of people is destroying the country for everybody and won't realize what they've done until it's too late, what do?